Alright, today we are doing the Whisperer post quest. One thing that helped me on this fight was actually shrinking my game window, my runelight window, so that there was less distance between the tiles that I need to click and the prayers that I need to click, because I'm not very good at the game, so I needed the prayers to be as close as possible to the tiles that I'm about to click. So that's why there's some black bars on the side of the screen too. But you're going to use only mage for this fight for damaging the boss, but there's a couple items that I bring that I've never actually used before. One of them is the Accursed Scepter A for auto casting, and you just use that for the spec right at the beginning since it weakens the boss to mage. And then the second item is the Venator bow, and you use that just for one of his phases. And you also need the Blackstone fragment from the quest. The items that you're going to want to bring are mostly pea pots. You do need arrows if you're using the Venator bow, but you can, as you get better, you need less and less food. You can bring pretty much only pea pots. I brought some panic food just in case. The runes for Ice Barrage that I'm auto casting with the Accursed Scepter, and of course something to damage him. I'm using Sanguinesti. You can do this boss with pretty bad gear. I'm just doing the best gear I have to try and make it go as fast as possible, but you can do this with a trident and mystic or Ahrims. Alright, so when you're in this fight, there's kind of this pattern to all of his tentacle attacks that come up out of the water. And you can see I've marked some tiles. If you're really good, you can, in the Enrage phase, you can only use, like, just pick a spot and go in this pattern. As long as it's like a knight moves in chess, you know, two spaces in one direction, one space in the other, then that will help you avoid the tentacles. You can see in this fight, I pretty much abandoned that entirely because I panic constantly when I play this fight. So it's just, if you want to try and use that, you can. So to start the fight, you're going to equip the Accursed Scepter and get your spec ready, and get ready to pray against either mage or range, and use, you know, some sort of magic offensive prayer, whatever one you have. So you can see that I got a little EXP drop with the spec, so I don't need to cast a second spec. I switched to my Sanguinesti staff and put on my prayers. He's going to do 3 of the same style of combat in a row. So he did 3 range there. There's 3 mage, and after each one of those, you just step out of the way of the tentacles. Usually you can just go one tile either directly next to you or diagonally, depending on where the tentacle splashes spawn at the beginning of his attack. But if you're standing kind of closer to the tentacles, usually you can just go the tile right next to you, and that works out pretty well. Once you do a certain amount of damage, he's going to enter into one of his special phases. And there he goes. So you can turn your prayers off, and as soon as your Blackstone fragment starts glowing, you're going to want to use it. I also equip my autocast staff before the end of the phase, just so that you can have some time to freeze him. So, all right. So this one, you want to go when he teleports to the side like that, you go about 2/3 of the way across the map, and you're going to look for the pillar with full health. That's the one that you're going to end up on. But you need to stand at one that's not full health for the first 2 attacks. So you can stand behind a 2/3 health one twice if 2 of those were next to each other or something, or you can just go, you know, 1/3 health, 2/3 health, full health. So, and you just stand behind it, make sure your prayer's topped off, you know, you've got a little time there. As soon as it breaks, you go to the one with 2/3 health. As soon as that one breaks, you go to the one with full health. And get ready to re-enable your prayers and have your barraging autocast staff ready. And as soon as he gets done with that, normally he'll root you with that spell. It makes kind of a funny noise, but sometimes he just skips it. I don't know why he does that. I think it's a bug, honestly. But so just be prepared. He might just launch right into his attacks, but normally he'll freeze you, and as soon as he starts moving, then you're going to want to root him with your ancient spell, because if he does get next to you, he'll melee you very quickly for 35s very fast. So then once you've frozen him, switch back to your main damaging item and get ready to switch prayers. He's going to do 2 of one style followed by a 1/3 of a different. So we've got mage, range, step, and he'll do it again. You know, range, mage, step. And you do the same thing with the walking. You know, you just step 1 tile out of range from where you are, either directly next to yourself or diagonally if the tentacles spawn in a way that, you know, if they spawn a cardinal direction from you. All right, so this one is the special phase where you're going to use the Venator bow. he spawns these ghosts, and you use the Blackstone Fragment to reveal them, and they say some words. If you don't have a Venator bow, target the two ghosts that say Vita. Just equip some sort of fast casting or a fast attacking weapon, and they just die in one hit. And that will prevent you from losing too much sanity. Otherwise, if you have a Venator bow, you can just kill them all, and that helps you a little bit too. All right, so you're going to equip your Ancient Staff, or get ready to cast Ice Barrage, and wait for him to move, and freeze him again. Get out your attacking weapon. Get ready to pray. He's going to do the same pattern where he just did range, mage, mage, range. And you can see I'm having to go diagonally on these ones just because that's where I ended up standing. All right, so you get him down to the final special phase when he's at about 250 health there. So for this one, we know what it's going to be since he already did the other ones. It's these orbs. You click your Blackstone Fragment to reveal them, and then you just step on the light green ones. You don't step on the dark green ones, and you can actually go pretty slow. I'm really bad at this, so I very deliberately click them. If there's always a little bit different pattern that they're in. If there's one that's like diagonal and you have to step through a dark green one, usually your character just like walks through it and you don't take damage, but I'm just very deliberately going through there. I'm going to get my Ancients casting ready, top up my prayer as much as I can, get ready to freeze him again. He gets a little close for comfort there, and then so this is the final normal phase, I guess you could say. He alternates combat styles, so he'll do one range, one mage, one range, or one mage, one range, one mage. And then you step out of the way. So this is where I stop blinking and go mage, range, mage, step out of the way. You can see there when you're close to the edge, sometimes you get less tentacles spawning, which is sometimes helpful. So he's alternating range, step. You keep doing this kind of Guitar Hero rhythm pattern until you kill him. As soon as you kill him, it's a good idea to try to have as high prayer as possible. Keep an eye on your sanity. If this is below like 60%, it's probably not even worth trying the Enrage phase, because he just constantly drains Enrage and prayer. Also, when he goes into this Enrage phase, he's going to heal up to 140 health and do 2 of the same attack style in a row and constantly send out tentacles. So he always starts with range. So he goes range, mage, range, over and over and over. So there you can see he healed up to 140. I'm going to try and drink as much prayer as I can. And then this is where you could do that Knights pattern after every click or after every attack or prayer switch. I just am not calm enough to do that, so I run diagonally, like diagonal to him, and that really works well for not getting hit by the tentacles. So I also play with sound on, because when these attacks hit you, it makes kind of a slap sound, and after every 2 slaps, I know that I just need to switch attack style. So I'm barely even able to tell what's going on here, so I'm just listening for 2 slaps, running diagonally, switching prayers, trying to make sure that my prayer doesn't deplete fully. I think I do mess up on a prayer switch here, but if you get hit by tentacles, it's not the end of the world. It does drain your sanity pretty fast, so you just need to try not to get hit throughout the fight, so you have high sanity at the end here. And you just repeat this running diagonal to him, or running in a Knights pattern if you're really good at the game. You can even just run back and forth in a straight line. My clicks, I'm not calm enough to do that, so I just run diagonally until he's dead. And this was definitely the hardest one for me to learn. It took me a night of banging my head against the wall on it before it clicked, so don't get discouraged. If you can do the quest, you can do this, so you will eventually get it to click for you, and then it'll be cakewalk, and he'll be on farm. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you at the next boss guide. Thank you.